Welcome to Viking basketball with Tyler Geving. Is the Portland State men's basketball team is home finally after being gone for a couple of weeks. Portland State back at the Stott Center, and just 4 games left here in this arena, Coach, as the construction's underway. It's got to be good to be home. It's probably a little hard to believe after all your years here. Only 4 games left in this gym.
You know, I was thinking of that. I was looking at my tickets the other day. I'm like, yeah, there's only 4 left as I was giving the tickets to my wife, but for this Thursday night's game. But, yeah, it's hard to believe, 12 years here. Obviously, you've been here longer than I have, but, to play 4 more games here at the Stott and say goodbye to this. But, obviously, when you walk into work every day and you see that new arena going up, it's obviously pretty exciting. But, yeah, being gone for the last couple weeks, even though it's only been 3 games, it's nice to get back in your own bed and, especially knowing, come Wednesday you're not going to get on a flight and have to go anywhere. So looking forward to getting back home, and hopefully we can kind of regain some of that mojo that we had earlier in the year.
The Vikings playing very well just before they left. They've lost a few games since then, a couple in overtime, really tough games, an epic game up at Eastern Washington in triple overtime. Coach, let's ask the question. A 4-game losing streak, nobody likes that, certainly. Do you see any common theme there that maybe has held you guys back a little bit that you kind of need to get over?
Well, one was we got to continue to rebound. We've got to continue to do better at that. I think that's hurt us a little bit. Obviously, free throws, we've talked about that. Not sure how to fix that one. We shoot them every day and do a number of different things, and I think sometimes that becomes mental. But those are 2 things that we try and spend a lot of time on. Especially shooting late in the year. I think you kind of are what you are a little bit with your sets and your philosophy on things. So I think this time of the year, I think you got to make shots. So obviously spending a lot of time on shooting and free throws, and hopefully that'll help us a little bit. But a lot of it is, I think it just shows you in this league how close everybody is. I mean, not only those 2 overtime games, but you look every weekend. It seems, I think a couple of weekends ago there was like 3 overtime games on Saturday, and the other game was decided by 1 point. So I think it just shows you 1 through 12 in this league, man. It's competitive, whether you're at home or on the road or wherever you're at. You got to bring it every single time.
Okay, before we talk about this week's opponents, I want to bring up one thing. You made a change in the starting lineup. You put in Deontay North, and he's been the 6th man all year, played brilliantly, scored a lot of points, and in fact now he's the team's leading scorer. Talk about maybe the decision to move him into the starting lineup.
Well, I think one thing, with and it wasn't like Bryce was doing anything bad. I think you look at it, you've got to get the kid more minutes. Deontay, I mean, and when you're the 6th man, obviously you're sitting there the first 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. So you're already down to, 32 minutes, the most that you could probably play. So I think we just had to flip that. He needed to play 35, 36 minutes. He's, like I say, he's probably been our most consistent player, as far as scoring goes. I think he's, ever since I think the Pepperdine game, I think he's only had 1 game under double figures. So he's been very consistent for us. I think it was just more, hey, we got to find a way to get this guy more minutes. He's a valuable asset to what we're trying to do. And obviously this weekend he responded with 29 and 30. So I guess he made me look pretty smart with that move.
All right, and just to make that point, Deontay North, a career-high 29 at Idaho, follows it with 30 at Eastern Washington, and another guy, Deshaun Parsons, career-high 23 on Thursday night. He gets 35 at Eastern Washington, so those 2 guys really lit it up for you last week.
Yeah, they did. I think, it was good for Deshaun. I thought he did a great job of attacking the basket and shooting shots that he's capable of making, and quality shots, and was aggressive going to the rim. And we need that out of Deshaun. And, he's done a good job rebounding for us this year. We still need him to continue to do that. But, I thought those 2 guys had a, extremely productive weekend. They were consistent. So, we just got to get back to getting everybody a little bit more consistent. We've kind of been a little bit up and down with our play, and we got to get back to, those 6, 7 guys being a little bit more productive and consistent on a daily basis.
All right, I'm going to revisit this. You may not like it, but we're going to talk about Eastern Washington for 1 minute. The Vikings lose in triple overtime, just an epic game. Big plays on both sides. At one point, Traylon Ferris gets a tip in, I think, at the end of the first overtime to send it to a second overtime. Big numbers on both sides of the board. Is a game like that, where it goes on and on and on, and players are fouling out and different things are happening, a game like that, is it harder on the players, harder on the coaches?
Yeah, it's very hard on my heart. I'll give you that. I think my heart was racing pretty good during that game. I got a few more gray hairs after that game. I think it's hard on everybody. It's obviously hard on us coaches, but it's hard on the kids too. They're the ones out there playing. They're the ones that are sore at the end of the game. They're the ones that are giving it everything they have. So I think just all in all, it's hard on everyone. The positive, as I said to you before we went on the air here, is I think we kind of got back into our groove a little bit in that second half. I think we finally played like the team that had kind of been missing for a couple of weeks. I thought we did a great job of getting out in transition and sharing the basketball, and we made a lot of great plays. That game could have gone either way. That was two unbelievable teams going at it. But you just credit to them. They made more plays at the end of the game. But I do like the way we played in that game in the second half, and hopefully we kind of, like I said earlier, get some of that mojo back.
Okay, now we'll talk about this week's games. Thursday night, Idaho State. Saturday, Weber State. And like everybody in the Big Sky Conference, everybody seems to have a star guard out front leading the team. And these two teams, a great example of that. Ethan Telfair for Idaho State, Jeremy Senglin for Weber State, two of the very best players, a couple of all-conference players. How are we getting prepared for these games this week?
Well, Idaho State, throw their record out the window. They're good. They are really good. They had an unbelievably tough non-league schedule. I'm not sure anybody could have won any of those games with the way they scheduled. And I think that probably beat them up a little bit early, in league play emotionally. But now that, they've won 2 in a row, Telfair's starting to play the way Telfair played last year. Luscondo's a great player. They're big kids turning into one of the best big kids in the league. So they're way better than what their record is. It's a team that was picked, 3rd or 4th in our, preseason polls. So there's a lot to prepare for this game. Obviously Telfair is a big part of what they got to do. We can't allow him to just slice us and dice us like he did last year, whether it was assists and points. He killed us both games, so we got to do a better job in neutralizing him. And for Weber State, Senglin is as good as advertised also. The way he comes off screens and shoots it, and obviously Randy Ray's a great coach, and they got a great system, and they're just consistent, and I think that's what makes Weber State what they are. I think they're just a consistent program in everything that they do from the offensive end and defensive end. So 2 tough games, obviously at home, so we need to take advantage of being at home this weekend.
Okay, last question then. What are going to be the keys for the Vikings to put some W's on the board against these two opponents?
Well, one, you got to make shots. And that sounds easy, but we've got to get back to being a little bit better on the offensive end and being a little bit more consistent in scoring the basketball, and not have these droughts that we've kind of been having a little bit, during the game. So we got to be efficient on the offensive end, and then I think both games we've got to be able to rebound the basketball. I think that's something that we've got to continue to be better at, and then you got to get the shooters. Both teams can shoot it extremely well. Weber's shooting it off the chart from the 3-point line. So in both games, both teams got capable shooters. So we got to do a good job of not allowing both teams just to get wide open looks.
Okay, there it is. The pre-week look at Idaho State and Weber State. The Vikings at home Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Get all your information at GoVikes.com.